We are calling on the government to take action. This is a say anything, spin anything, achieve nothing government, and we are calling on them to take action. The Director General of the CBI said getting the credit markets working properly is much more important than a fiscal boost. And the CBI's survey of distributive trades released in the last hour, which is the key indicator of activity in the retail sector, including the 10 days after the VAT cut, shows the worst downturn in retail activity since records began. A massive thumbs down from the consumer. So isn't it time for the government to concede that that reduction, that temporary reduction in VAT, universally derided at home and abroad, has not been the answer, and getting credit moving to the businesses of the country would be part of the answer to this recession?
I think there's two responses that we should have to the very difficult economic circumstances. The first is not to talk down confidence and not to talk down the economy. And the second is, as well as having interest rates cuts, to ensure that we have a fiscal boost to the economy. And since we're talking about retail, that's why we are taking forward a cut in VAT and urge him to vote for it. That's why we are bringing forward extra cash help to pensioners from the beginning of next year. That's why we're bringing forward extra child benefit to put more money in people's pockets and actually to have a tax rebate to help 22 million people. So we would take the action whilst all they do is carp and criticise. And I say to the right honourable gentleman to face these big economic circumstances and say it's only down to interest rates cuts and we would put no extra money in the economy, that would make a different circumstance into a disaster.
Mr. Speaker, what we're calling on the government to do is to get the money to the businesses of the country, and we cannot have lectures about talking down confidence from a cabinet, one of whose members said this week that we are facing a recession deeper than any we have ever known. What is that if it's not talking down confidence? This country has been in recession for 6 months. The government has achieved nothing except to let unemployment get worse and debt go up. We now have soaring unemployment, rocketing debt, good businesses going to the wall, heavy tax rises on the way. If this is the Prime Minister saving the world, God help us when he moves on to the rest of the solar system. And how many people are going to have to lose their jobs before the Prime Minister justifiably loses his own?
Well, we'd rather have Superman leading our party than have a party led by a joker. And when it comes to leadership, when it comes to party leadership,
I think the Leader of the House wishes to continue. The Leader of the House.
When it comes to party leadership, I happen to be having a look at the Right Honourable Gentleman's website, and I suggest other honourable members look at it. On williamhague.org.uk, it just says William Hague, leader of the Conservative Party. Does face unprecedented economic circumstances. There are uncharted waters ahead. There is economic uncertainty. But one thing that I want everybody to be in no uncertainty about, for there to be no doubt about, that we will take the action necessary to stabilise the economy, to support small business, the action necessary to support jobs, to protect people against repossession. Unlike the party opposite, who simply says no action and then proposes a bogus scheme, we will never say unemployment is a price worth paying.